Okay, so I have right here some ground beef. We use the turkey one, but I have no idea what kind this one is. We have some peppers here, tomato, some onions, and then this is called cilantrillo. So I'm going to be using a couple of these. I just pick out the good ones because they always tend to get messed up earlier. Now we have some breadcrumbs because we're going to be using that. We have some garlic powder, a little bit of adobo, sofrito, and then we have some aceituna. I think these are olives. Yep. Then we have the brown gravy because we're going to be using these. And then we also have some eggs. We're going to be also making potato salad, and I'm probably going to leave the skins on these. So yeah, so we're going to be doing that as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys what I'll do. First, I'm going to break everything apart because it's partly frozen. I tried to defrost it a bit in the microwave, but some parts just started to turn cooked, so I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to go ahead and mash it with a fork, and then I will show you guys the next step. So as you can see, I just grab a regular fork and I just mash it up. Mash it because I don't want it to be big chunks, even though we're going to compact it together with the egg. So yeah, so this is the first step. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder because I do not want to season this a lot because the brown gravy has tends to make it a little bit salty. So I'm just gonna add a bit. And then now we're gonna add the adobo, not a whole bunch like I said, because I don't want it to be too salty. And then we're just gonna add a bit of sofrito. Yeah, like this much, not that little bit, but yeah, I want that much of sofrito. And then I'm just gonna go ahead. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add some olives. I tend to put a lot. I'm mostly the only one that likes it in my house, but I like to eat it, so it's fine with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of cilantrillo. Like I said, I picked out the nicest ones, as you can see, because we don't want to add too much of this. It doesn't affect the taste if I add a lot, but the boys don't really like it, so if they find it in their food, they're most likely not gonna eat it. So that is as much as I put in it. And then I'm just gonna chop off the tomato and oops, I just dropped one. Yeah, so I'm just gonna wash these off first, and this onion, and I'll chop it off and then I'll add it. So I'm just gonna chop them up into tiny pieces. You can use whatever you want, like as in vegetables. You could use purple onions. That gives it a good taste to it. And we are gonna add eggs to this because we want to compact it together. So yeah, so I'm just gonna cut this thinly, and I will show you guys once I have all three of them. I already chopped up the tomatoes, the onions, and the peppers. They're not that small, but I will chop them up a little more. And I'm also gonna I still have to chop this off a little bit more. And then I'm just gonna use some pimiento morron. I didn't mention this because I had totally forgot it, but I'm gonna be adding a little bit of the liquid because that gives it a good taste. And then I'm gonna be chopping up some of those. So I'm gonna be adding these first. Tomatoes. You just want to add everything in. The onions. Okay, and then the peppers. Okay. So now I'm gonna go ahead and chop this off and I'll add it. Let me add the liquid a little bit. I'm just gonna go ahead and add these, and I am gonna be using my hand. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get some eggs, and I'll just break them in, and I'll mix everything together. So let's go ahead and add, I think I'm gonna add just 2 eggs. So I'm gonna just make sure we do not add any of the shell. So I just tap it on the side, and then I just let it fall inside. So yeah, so we're just gonna use these 2. Now I'm gonna go ahead and mix it together. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be dividing these into 2 because I think 2 is fine, and then I'm just gonna make this shape. My kids don't really like vegetables, so this is a nice way to incorporate the vegetables with the meat. And then the vegetables just tend to kind of disappear inside of the food, of the meat. So yeah, so this is the second one. I think this one is a little bit too big, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add this to the other one. Then 2 is fine for us because even though we're a family of 7 right now, it's good for us. So yeah, so I'm gonna be cooking this here. You usually use an oven, but this is the first time I'm gonna try this here, so hopefully it will turn out well. I'm gonna go ahead now and add the crumbs. First I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands, and then I'll add the crumbs. So I'm gonna show you guys how it looks. And then I'm just gonna add the breadcrumbs. We add this because we don't want it to stick to the pan, and it makes it a little better. I'm gonna use my hands after this, but I'm probably gonna have to use the other angle again. We just add a whole bunch, just want it to stick together. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're just adding the breadcrumbs to the sides and the top of it. I'm just patting it down, and then I'm just making the shape again. This helps it compact together pretty good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add some more. Jaden, can you add some more?
Yes.
Súbelo y hazlo así. Sube, échame la mano. Mándale mucho. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the sides. So now this is how it turned out. It looks like this, but I'm gonna go ahead and make the gravy in this saucepan, and then once the meat is halfway done, I'm just gonna go ahead and add the gravy on top of it, and I will show you guys how to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the fire up to a medium high. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the lid on it, and then I'm just gonna cook the gravy here in a second. So I'm just gonna put this to cook, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on it. I put this to a medium high, and then I'm just gonna turn on the gravy to a high because I like to do this fast. And then once the gravy is done, I will just add it to the meat and let it cook because the meat tends to cook fast. So yes, so I'm just gonna go ahead and mix this. If you're making gravy, keep stirring it because you don't want it to get lumpy. And then I'm gonna go ahead and show you how the meatloaf is turning out. I'm just gonna stop stirring it for a second. And as you can see, the meatloaf is starting to bake, like to cook. And I'm just gonna go ahead and uncover it up again. And then once the gravy is done, I'm gonna pour it on top of it. Sure, this will be done in a couple minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Mira, cállense, cállense y no digan. Okay, so even though the gravy is not completely done, I added a little bit here because I didn't want it to get dry. So I noticed that the gravy was starting to get done here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add it. It's still gonna be done because it's halfway cooked already. So that even though it looks like a lot of gravy, this tends to consume itself. The meat tends to consume the gravy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cover this up, and then I will show you guys the end results because it's nice to have a little extra gravy. Anyways, I will show you guys in a while the end result. So like I said, I put the heat all the way up to the 6, and then now it's starting to boil on the side. So the gravy it's getting done. So yeah, so the gravy is boiling, and even though I'm not mixing it, we will still have gravy. Like I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and cover the meatloaf. And this is turkey meatloaf, so it's gonna be lighter than the regular ground beef. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and cover it up and leave it for a while, and leave it about 10 minutes. If this was helpful and you want to make a meatloaf, well, that's how you make it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye.